Hi. Okay, I'm going to see if I can find on here. Come on. I've never done this. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to see how this goes. Hi, I'm a little nervous. I'll have to admit that. And I think if you make a comment, swipe left to reveal comments. If you say a comment, I think I'm going to be able to read it and answer it. I've never done that before. So here it is. We'll start. I'm probably going to say a lot of so's and ums and things like this. This is kind of nerve-wracking for me. But it's something I've got to get used to, so thank you for being a guinea pig. Say hi when you come on so I know. I'm Julie of Heart and Home here in Lorenz. There are a few Heart and Homes. There's one that's a hospice in Western United States. And then there's one in Webster City. And from what I could tell, we started probably within 2 weeks of each other. I don't believe she has the apostrophe, so that's probably how our names went through, was that way. But I get a lot of her phone calls and things like that, and they're asking for Donna, and it's interesting. But I just celebrated 30 years of business with Heart and Home. And a few people that were coming in were asking, was this with your store? Well, technically no. And I'll start that out, that it was 30 years ago in Spencer, Iowa, that I had my first official sale as Heart and Home with the sales tax, charging sales tax, doing all of that. It was my very first sale. So that's where the 30 years come in. Where I've been in my location downtown, it's been 22 and a half years. But we'll back it up and I'll start this story over. See, there's the ums, and I apologize for that. I'll start way back, actually. I grew up in Spencer. Both of my grandparents were near Spirit Lake. They were actually very good friends. And we would go up every weekend to one or both of my grandparents' farms. My dad worked 2 jobs. He sold John Raw meat, and then he would cut meat on the weekend. So it was just something we did. And it was at the Red Owl in Spirit Lake, so it was just easier to be there. My grandmothers were very creative, very crafty, all of that. And I think Mom was. It's just she was so busy being a mom that you don't always have the time. It's kind of like that grandmotherhood where you get to have a little more of the luxury of time to do things like that. And that is what my grandparents did, my grandmothers did. By the time I was probably 5, I was learning how to do embroidery. We were painting on rocks. We were painting on wood shingles. We were decorating cookies, and you name it, we were doing it. It's just, I don't think we ever sat at the table without doing something. We were always, you always sat around the kitchen table doing something with your hands while you talked. It's just what we did. Whether it was playing cards and talking, or playing marbles, or it was always doing something with our hands. And if I miss a comment, please let me know. I don't think anyone has. Okay, good. We're good. So anyway, that's how we started. One of my first memories, and I've shared this on a video before, of flowers and what a flower can do to represent, was actually at my grandma Sangle's on Mother's Day. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and they had this big, long lane. And the Sangle farm, it was in the 2nd generation, I believe, 3rd generation, 2nd generation family that was living on the farm. And across the way was a great uncle. And we were down on the side of the hill, huge, it was great sledding. And I was picking wildflowers on Mother's Day. And my dad and my uncle came racing down in their cars and said, get back up to the house. Uncle Harry passed away. I didn't know what that even meant. So I went in, and Grandma's crying, and I handed her the flowers, and she just looked at me and hugged me. And it kind of, I think, cheered her up, or in my little head, it cheered her up. And I think I associated flowers with that. I'm not sure, but it's just always what I did. And another thing, and this is rather weird, Halo Donna, is I have an obsession maybe about retail without ever knowing I had an obsession. There was a store in Spencer called Cernet's. I can pretty much tell you the layout. I can tell you where the pets were, where the pans were, why they did that. And I think I always, as a child, analyzed why they did it, why things were put where they were. It was odd, but in high school, I worked at Shopko, loved Shopko, was a cashier, and then I went into customer service, and I still see some of the ladies that were there, and I adore every one of them. Wendy Mills happens to be on there. Hey, Wendy. It was a cool experience, and it taught me a lot, and I was in security. I was a cashier. I trained cashiers, went into customer service, and then I was doing daily sale counts. By the time I quit, when Bill and I were going to get married, it was a year out of high school, and they honestly thought in high school that I was older than I was, and apparently I was working 40 hours because when my one grandfather passed away, I was offered funeral pay and everything like that, and when I said I didn't understand what that even meant, and they were explaining, they said, well, every full-time employee has it, and I still was very confused. And they go, well, you have insurance, and I have no idea what. I'm very naive, and I still am. And they were explaining all that, and then found out, yeah, they thought I was not in high school, and it was just, but it was cool. It was neat. So out of that, we got married. I was 19 when we got married. Bill was 21, 22. We met when I was 16. And I think, oh my, what I did to my parents, but it was the best. I would never change that for a million. We moved to Lawrence. We lived in a trailer for a year, 2 years, making ends meet. We were two kids who didn't have even 2 nickels to rub together. I sewed my own curtains because my grandmothers had taught me how to sew. I made things for the wall because that's what my grandmothers taught me to do. I decorated everything that I could because that is what I was always taught to do. We bought a house. We had a son, Adam. He was just turned 3 years old. We were pregnant with our second child. And my birthday is November 3rd. And on November 7th, I went in for a checkup. He was 3 days past due. And they could not find a heartbeat. So we ended up having a stillborn. He weighed 8 pounds, some ounces. What the autopsy kind of came back was myocarditis. Later in life, we think it might be something else, but we're not positive about that. So within 12 hours, we were released, and we had to start planning a funeral. I just had turned 25. Bill was 27. And honestly, what I know now, and what I hope they do for moms like that now, I hope there's more reach out and things like that. But we were kind of handed a book about poems of loss, and that was about it. So at 25, I suddenly had to plan a funeral that I had no idea what I was doing. I think I was in shock. I know now I was in shock, and I know now it was trauma, and I had no idea that it was what it was. That isn't a word we used back in 91, as far as I knew. The funeral was just finishing. It was on a Sunday afternoon, real simple. And I went into the kitchen, and my grandma McClurg was there. And she held my hand and said, and looked me straight in the eyes, and said, happy hands make happy hearts, start creating. And I knew exactly what she meant. I knew exactly what she meant. That every time we were at the table, like I said, we were making things, we were always doing things. It makes you think of something else, so you don't get into maybe a dark space, and maybe that's just the way I my family, I deal with things, and it works for me. So, started making dried flowers. I'd go to Joann Fabrics. I don't even think there was a Hobby Lobby or Michael's. Joann Fabrics in the Spencer Mall. I would go and get stuff like that. Then I would start and find out anyone in Lorenz that would let me in the spring grab their flowers or peonies and dry them, and I was studying about everything. Of course, this is a time without internet, for me at least. I'm not sure when people started getting it. It wasn't for us. So I would do all of that. I'd buy every magazine I could. I'd go to the library all the time, read and read and read everything I could to learn about it. And found out there were some free classes up in Sioux Falls, so I'd go to a few of those. And, my family, my mom bought like everything, and grandmas wanted stuff and everything like that, and they were sweet. And then pretty soon their friends and maybe my friends would start asking for things, and I thought, maybe I could do this. So it was October of '92. It would have been just a few weeks of a year, short of a year of when Spencer was born, and I had my first craft show. I'll never. I was in the corner right beside Shopko and Happy Joe's, boom, right there, and a gal was walking around in the mall, and she bought one of my dried wreaths before it opened. I wish I knew who it was. I owe her everything. She broke that nerves. In fact, the night before, Thursday night, I was in tears. I thought, what am I doing to my family? Here we are. We owe hospital bills still. We are using credit card because we had to pay off, the whatever, $12,000-$14,000 for a funeral. Families, the three of us were in debt, and I'm doing what? And I'm doing what to our family? My parents took Adam. They helped load. Dad had made these huge screens for me, made my booth for me. My parents couldn't have been, and my husband could have never been more supportive than they were. It was awesome. It was wonderful. And like I said, we sold. So by the time that Friday night came of the Spencer Craft Mall, I was sold out before 9 o'clock, probably by 1 o'clock. But in the contract, you had to stay there the entire day. So I literally had to stay there till 9 o'clock with nothing. Drove home to Lorenz, stayed up all night, created, and it happened on Saturday, and then it happened on Sunday. And in the middle, right across from me, were some people from Lorenz, Mr. and Mrs. Bell, and they did crocheted, I think. I can't remember all the craft stuff they had. And I'll never forget on Sunday morning when I came back with more stuff, Mr. Bell was giving me a really bad time that I was stopping at all the cemeteries, grabbing things off the graves to fill my booth back up. And they were just very loving and supportive and just encouraging me to continue doing what I was doing and telling me some ideas about craft shows because they'd been doing it for quite a while and what to look for and where to go and things like that. So the bug was bit. Is that right? Anyway. So I started doing craft shows for 4 years. And in between that also, in our house, I just would have a tiny little display and people would even come into the house. They would ask, and what was the music room, because I taught piano too and babysat. And I would just have a little screen up and they would come in and buy things like that. And in 96 then, so it had been 4 years of that, I started selling home interiors, if you remember home interiors, just for about a year or so. But it helped me save enough that we tore down our little single-car garage. It's a long single-car garage, and because it was just horrible in shape. Rebuilt it. We had Mr. Kerry Fakis build it for us, and it was my store. We replaced the garage door with just a walk-in door, and it was my store for 4 years, and it was amazing. It was so much fun. And it was a great opportunity to start that way and start slow. I remember the first market I went to. I went with my mom, or my mom went with me. We went up to Minneapolis, and I spent $300 on candles. And if you ask her, she'll probably remember this too. I think I had I don't know if it was a nervous fit or a breakdown or what it was, but I literally cried all the way home. Can't believe I just spent $300. I mean, that was a lot of money. And what was I thinking? And this was crazy. And what is going on? Now, if I could only spend $300, I would be way more than happy. I do that. Oh, yeah. I wish it was just a 3-digit number that I'm spending right now. But it was just great. And on open houses, we would move a lot of the furniture out of our house, main level of our house, and we'd put in the screens, and people would come in. I remember one time in March, it was a horrible snowstorm or something, and some ladies from the Spencer Hospital came down for it, and I couldn't believe that they would go in that kind of weather just to come to my little shop. But it was the support. The support was simply amazing, and it helped me. I will have to say, happy hands make happy hearts is very true, and it helped me. It just helped me. I guess that's the best. I know that isn't a system or a way that would work for everything. Oh, my husband. Thanks, Bill. That was his comment down there. He wrote, "Isn't she awesome?" I should probably talk about this man for a second. None of this would have ever even started without him, without his encouragement, without his. Now I'm going to start crying. He's been amazing. He really has. When I met him when I was 16 was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. But in Christmas of '99, he basically said after an open house that was over 300 people coming through, "I love you, but get out of our garage." So we happened to find a girlfriend was leaving a space in downtown Lorenz, and she let me know about it. So that's where we currently are. We've been there for 22 and a half years. Now this is how insane things have happened. We're moving. We're going to move. And my husband's encouraging me to do this. And without thinking, they were closing the company he was working for at that time. Yeah, they were closing the Scrivener, Hakes, Fleming. He found a job equal, but we didn't know if that was going to be long term, what that was going to do. And yet he's saying to me, all in on your dream, all in on what you believe. We're going to do this. We don't care what's the worst thing. Go. That's phenomenal to have that kind of support. And I love you, Mr. Wurr. You are rather awesome. So that's where we are now. We're downtown. We have gone through a lot in these years, especially downtown. We went through 9/11. When that happened, we had no idea what was going on. 2008 was the banking crisis. That took everyone for a spin. I dropped a piano on my foot. That was out for 3 months pretty much. And never in my wildest dream would I ever think the government would shut my business down for 6-7 weeks. With COVID, that was pretty crazy. And now, things right now are, I avoid the news, but they're saying things can be rough, can be all of this. I'm just not listening. When I started out, I should go back a little bit. We started out with dried flowers, added a little bit of silk, home decor, candles, moved downtown. 2001, we added wine. Oh, I was framing at the time. I think I quit framing in 2016 or 17, somewhere in there. Basically, because it was either a choice of continue framing for 5 years and don't do flowers again, or quit framing. So that choice for me was very easy. Although I do visit at times. It was a lot of math, but it was fun. It really was. So we did the framing, we've done the home decor, I was judging wine through the cells of wine that we found out I had a really good palate. And I was writing for a magazine called Make My Wine magazine. And I was hoping to have it done before tonight, but I'm going to do a blog post with some pictures and a little bit of this journey and have it just kind of for the history of things. That's where we are right now. We added fresh in 2014, I believe. And it's been good. Some of the people that have been in and out, my grandma McClure, the one that said happy hands make happy hearts. When I had my first open house in the house, I had store-bought cookies, and she was a little ashamed of me for, if these people are going to take the time to come to your home, you need to offer them something better than store-bought cookies. That's when our open houses started getting really big, and where food was very important, and that was Grandma Clark all the way, 100% of the way. She was just, that's the way it was. And if you've been to open houses in the past, you would have seen Grandma McClurg. She would always come and visit. My Uncle Carlisle, he was a big supporter. I mean, he loved coming and meeting the people in Lorenz. He was awesome, and he would throw in his support. My mom and dad, back when we were starting in the garage, I was sending out newsletters, didn't have a computer, so I'd type them out, I'd draw little pictures on it, and my Uncle Carlisle actually saved everyone, and my mom had the booklet, just gave it to me, so I never kept them, but I now have all the newsletters from those first years because he kept them. That's amazing. And Sarah Winkler, Don would let me go into his office and make copies. I'd go up to my folks and they'd help my mom and my aunt and my grandma would help me write out all the addresses that I collected during the craft shows, and we'd send those out when we'd have an open house. So my mom and dad, always there, always helping. My Aunt Mary, again, same thing, always there, always helping, always great advice. I trust her judgment, her taste. We're very similar. We love anything very feminine and very kind of romantic. I think that's a part of what I am, is a little bit of the romance. And then we started getting into some employees. I've had in the store Peggy Vile. She was incredible. And one of them, I have to tell the story, is Kennedy Tate. Kennedy was either 13 or 14. We were just discussing this, and we don't remember how old she was, but she was working over at Pizza Ranch, and she would come over and, you ready to hire me? You ready to hire me? And I thought, what is this girl doing? This is insane. Finally, I said, okay, I've got a wedding. Yes, we'll do a trial. We'll see how you, and I'm thinking, there's no way. She is not going to make this. It was in Orange City, very precise. It's a lot of moving, a lot of mental, a lot of, setting the tables, everything like that. We got there. She's like, what do I need to do? And I set one up. She had everything. She was measuring it out by her hands. Perfection. Absolute perfection. This girl had it down. So much that the manager of the place in Orange City was asking how old she was and would she be going to school in Orange City because he would hire her. I thought, yeah, that's gutsy, asking to hire someone that I got hired. But after that, I couldn't get rid of her. I adore her. She is going to, in college, her last year for accounting. So, yay. Yay me. Kennedy's always been just spectacular. And then in came Mary Clagle, and Mary organized my life all the way. It was incredible. She would answer the phone, and you guys enjoyed talking to her. And Linda Paulson came in, and she was helping, and then we got Geraldine in, and Geraldine has not left, and I've also told her she can't. I will have her in a wheelchair, pushing her around if I have to. She does not even have that opportunity. That's why she has a lot of flexibility in everything she does. She wants to take the day off. She wants to take the week off, the month, whatever it takes. we work really well together. That's what is so spectacular too. We just really, really, um, it's kind of odd. I don't know if it's two creatives, if it is, but we bounce things off. We can almost finish each other's sentences. We love the same music. Hers is Delta Dawn. I love Proud Mary. So when we get into a funk, we have to play those really loud and dance and sing, and we know someone's going to come in and find us, but yeah, that's what happens. So where the store is right now is we're in the fresh. Dried is coming back, which I love. The home decor. Self-care is really a growing category for us. And I think part of it is, I believe, I only buy things that I would use. I truly believe in full relaxation when I get the chance, but when I do, I immerse myself into it. And I think everyone else should have that opportunity to do that. We are definitely doing silks. The silks are probably our number 2 category, almost our number 1 category. And it's, people are just buying the stems. And we're more than happy to do that. We are happy for people to bring in their vases, and we do it right there, help them select things, play around. And we'll also, if you want to take them home and you don't quite get it, and we understand because we both had over 30 years experience now with this, you can bring them back. We don't charge for the labor. That's just, being in Lorenz, our expenses are lower than most other places. Our electricity is inexpensive. Everything is just, it doesn't cost as much. So it's a little easier for us. And we love to create. We would probably do this. I would do this if this isn't what I did. This would be my hobby. This is what I truly love. And when I haven't been into the silks too much lately. It's inventories coming in left and right that I just haven't had time, and it is my stress reliever, and I'm missing it. I need to get back in there. I've got to get things under control. One thing we're also doing is, in the last year, we've been in the process of, we got a new point of sale system, or what we call POS, and it does stand for point of sale, and it also includes barcoding, and then I've got it so it's linked into the website. The website is what I also do that. It's kind of another way to be creative at night. Where I no longer have room in the store, so my office is at home, which is good. But my goal is eventually, and I thought it would be by September, and it hasn't happened, and it won't happen by the end of this year. But I want 100% of everything online. I have a feeling that we are getting so used to being online, and the way we shop is slightly different anymore. You shop with more purpose than maybe we did back in the 70s, 80s, even 90s. The decline of malls kind of shows that, where you would go to the mall and just go in and out and stroll. You kind of go to the mall anymore with purpose, with a reason to go, not necessarily the other, just to wander around. So that's one of my goals, is that you can see it on the website, you can order it, you can have it for pickup, and so then you know it's saved for you, and then you can always return it. So that's one aspect we're doing. For Christmas, I'm going all in. It is going to be the largest Christmas inventory I have ever had. Like, I wonder if Bill's still watching this. It's probably 3 times what it was last year. It is, like I said, not listening to the news. I'm not having that negative attitude. But I'm also being a little selective on what I've been getting in. And also in January, where usually we take everything out, we go back to plain. This year I'm not. This year I want to take and show you how you can take some of your Christmas, your greens, your really good quality greens, and make your house be winter. Kind of that cozy. You don't have to tear everything down. You can tear down your tree, but there's still some things you can leave up. And just keep that until Valentine's Day, and then we can start working on spring. But there's that little bit of time, and I think we all get into a rut. I do. And you have all those beautiful greens and lights and everything like that, and then you tear them down and you're like, oh, this is boring. Why do we do that to ourselves? So that's one thing we're going to focus. We're going to continue doing some winter, and I've been buying with that intentionally. Wait till you see some of the greens. Oh my gosh. You have to touch them. You have to touch them. The store, because I've been buying so much, the retail part is going back into our design area. So we are encouraging people to go all the way back through. There's rarely anything off limits, and if there is, it shouldn't be at the store. There's nothing we're hiding. So we're encouraging people to walk through, try, look, touch, feel, smell, everything. We are at our limit at the store. I can't get any more. I've got about 25 feet wide, and this includes a refrigerator, microwave where we eat, where the inventory comes in, and where my processing is by about 10 feet. That's what we're down to. So right now it's really full because we just got a lot of inventory in today, even more. And I've been getting FedEx and UPS while even on the phone here. Things are coming tomorrow too. So that's a little bit of stress, but it's good. It's good. And thank goodness Geraldine will be in tomorrow so she can do all the orders and deliveries, and I can start taking care of that. Where I see things going is I really want to concentrate on the silks, concentrate on, I just really want to look for top quality. I had a company come through with a trailer. There's these big trucks that look like huge campers, I guess, but inside there are 4x8 boards that are side by side, and they're on hinges. So then everything's on both sides of flowers that they Velcro on, and then it'll move, and the next one will come. So they can get a lot of inventory in there. And I just wasn't ordering, and I felt bad that he came all the way to Lorenz, and I just finally looked at him and said, what is going on? This isn't the quality I want. And he's like, well, everyone else is buying it. I'm not going to. But what's going on? And I was pointing out some of the things that I just wasn't happy about. The reasons why I wasn't taking the plunge and buying it. I wasn't going to settle. It was inexpensive looking. It would not hold up. It would not. No, that's not. I wouldn't want it in my house, and I don't want my customers to have to settle for it either. And I always, okay, I'm going to come back to the story. I'm going to jump to the little thing. My father was a meat salesman. I think I said that already. I already said that. And his office was in the basement. So when I was playing Barbies and dolls, I would always hear him. And I know from him that reputation is much more important than money. Reputation for the silks, going back to the trailer, reputation about silks and quality is way more important to me than money. I want my reputation to stand. That has always been very important. That's what's been instilled with me. And he finally said, well, here's what's going on. These companies here that have everything made in China can't go and look at it. They're ordering it online. They don't know what they're getting. Oh, okay. I'm going to keep looking. So I bought some from a company in England. There isn't very many that are made in the U.S. I haven't actually found any made in the U.S. I would love to, but so far, no. One of my goals, maybe this in 2023, would be to go to the Dallas market. There is one wholesaler, and no one will tell me the name of the company, and it's the only place they show, and they are supposedly the best of silks. And so I'd like to go, and I have to feel in touch and make sure that that's what I would want. But growth. I still see some growth. I mean, I obviously can't, I'm limited. but the website is still, that's our next growth. That's the only spot. I can't outgrow that. That's unlimited. So what the space won't allow, I can do the other way. And we're starting to ship more and more to people that I'll show it to Bill, and he's like, well, do you know them? No, I don't know them. How did they find, I don't know how they found out. I could start looking into the system and see maybe how they found us, but I'm just happy. That's good. All our wreaths that Geraldine and I will be making, and silks and things like that, arrangements, the goal is to put those all on the website also, so that we can start creating more, because again, that is my happiness, is being able to create. I love the fresh. But there's something about fresh we make specifically for other people for a reason. The silks, when I create for the store, I just get to create for no reason. And a lot of times I try to think of someone that maybe they would like it, something like that. But it's truly just creating to create. And I think that's why I like the silk and dried so much. It's not something very specific. It is just so that you can make something beautiful. And you think of where a person would put it in their house. I can picture this, I always, in my head, I've pictured. I guess that came back from the garage, because when I would start buying, when it started getting to the point where we could buy things, and I was so nervous, about it. And I would just think, well, if it doesn't sell, I like it. I can always take it. I like it. That's good. So I still have that philosophy when we buy. In fact, you can probably see behind, everything's from the store. I like it, I buy it. And if it doesn't sell, the worst thing I can do is take it home. Although now the quantity is higher than before, but we still live in our small house. So I think that's a lot about the future of what Heart and Home is. I told people during the party on Saturday at the 30th that if I hit 50, we're having a band. We're having a band outside. If I hit the 50, I think that would be just huge and fun. I don't know. I can't stop dreaming. I'm still daydreaming about everything, about what I'd like to do, where I'd like to go. I see our community of Lorenz, and I still think we have such possibilities, and I think it takes a lot of people to get excited about it. I really want to make Lorenz kind of a shopping destination. I think the stores, all the buildings downtown need to get filled up. There's so many things I think the community, the area needs. And I don't see why we can't be it. So that would probably be another aspect that I start in on, is trying to get the downtown going again. I love this community. I love the entire area. I am blessed. And that is, I believe, the Heart and Home story. I don't think I've seen any questions. Yay. Okay. If there isn't, I think we're good. Oh, sorry. Yes, something we're doing. Today's, we are going to start focusing on classes. So far in November, we have, and it's on the front page of the website, we have 2 bow classes, 2 planter classes, one is already filled, a centerpiece for Thanksgiving, and a fresh wreath, deluxe wreath class. In December, we're doing 2 fresh centerpiece classes for your holiday tables. January, we're going to be doing a pressed flower class. February, I'm not sure what. I think in March, we might, what I'm kind of thinking is, if I can find the containers for it, I'd like to do a faux succulent planter that you could put just like in a bathroom. I'd like to find something, I know the container I want, I just got to find it. that it could go in a bathroom, it could go on a vanity, it could go in the back of the toilet, it could go in your kitchen if you wanted to, but you come in and design and pick. That would be a lot of fun. When is the Christmas open house? Good question. It is always the first Sunday in November from noon to 5. So it's November 6th this year from noon to 5. I'm going to get a calendar written out, and I'm trying to get newsletters going. I'm hoping maybe it is Tuesday night. Never mind, it's not going to happen. I wanted it to start being on Tuesday nights and I get it out. It might be more Wednesday night this week, but I will start letting you know about that in the newsletter. What about Heart and Home? Oh, yeah. Gail does have very crazy ideas. Yes. Known Gail forever, too. But the Christmas open house, noon to 5. There's going to be 3 other businesses I also think open that Sunday. So it'll be fun to come to Lorenz. We have got food figured out. We are going to be sampling out the variety of new dips that we have. There's some sweet, there's some savory, and these dips from S&S Dips are selling like that. It's one thing to sell them once, but we're selling them multiple times over and over to the same people. So you know it's good. So we want you guys to be able to try that. And also, we have coming, I just talked to the company today. This sounds crazy. Cotton candy in tubs, little tubs, and the packaging is really pretty. And so we're going to be doing champagne with cotton candy clouds on it for sampling. And then probably iced coffee again. We got the Javi coffee that Saturday people really seem to enjoy. It's easy peasy. It's awesome. Classes will be great. Yes. I'm looking forward to it. It's something I've wanted to do for several years, and I think it's just time to start in and start doing for 2 of my daughter's weddings. Yes? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Still love doing weddings. We aren't going to be doing rentals, the pipe and drape, a lot of that. We're going more to, I need to focus on the florals of it so that I can put more time into it. The week of a wedding, before the actual wedding, it is probably about 40 to 60 hours put in on that week between the 2 of us. And when we throw in rentals, there's more. So, or if there's other things that come up, we don't have the concentration as much on the florals. So I've been selling the rentals to someone who's going to be doing it. I can recommend different people, but we do centerpieces, do the arches, do the florals, do things like that, do the installations of florals. But the pipe and drape was starting to kill me because it's like 4 hours of pinning like that, and I was starting to get it in the shoulder. So that will then give us a little more opportunity too to be able to do the classes. So I love Wedding Flow. I love weddings. They're so much fun. And those Phillip girls, oh my God. They're a hoot. They're a hoot. So I think, unless there's any other questions, we are good. The classes will, see, I'm going to keep thinking of things. We have started in about last 2 months a loyalty program that for so much that you buy, unless it's invoiced, and there's a few other hesitations or limitations, but you get a point for every $10. And if you get so many points and you want to use them towards a class, you can. So it would cost you 0. You just use your points. Otherwise, when you get 10, you can use it to get 10% off your next purchase. And you don't have to keep track, nothing like that. It's easy on my end, too. There's a few things I have to work out on the website to see if you can actually cash in. Right now, we're having to have you call in for that. But, yeah, so there's going to be a point where classes could be, every class that I have for November and December, there's a chance, an opportunity for you to be able to use your points to buy the classes. So if you keep an eye on that, there could be a chance you could have all your classes for free. Yeah, excited about that too. I love that opportunity, that chance of doing something like that. I'm thinking I would like to do probably in June. I'd love to say May, but May is really crazy. But I'd like to do in June maybe a children's craft or flowers or something like that. I got to think about that. We have been asked by the ISU Extension in Pocahontas County to have the kids come in and do a silk wreath and teach them how to do that and make a bow. Oh, good morning, Buyer. To come in and do, teach them how to make a wreath. So that's exciting. Plus, that'll give us an opportunity then to, someone's just waking up wanting some love here, to see how that works because it's from 4th grade to 12th. And we'll see if 4th grade works for silk or not. We do fresh arrangements. We are partners in education with 1st grade here in Lorenz. We go up once to twice a month, and we do have, last year we did one small, they're small, but little centerpieces, and they were really good about that. It was so great. So this year we're doing 2 with them. Got that already planned. In fact, tomorrow I go in and we're going to have them make pumpkins out of paper plates with torn orange tissues and a stem, and you're seeing my hands and not touching you. Okay, I probably should get going. I have a boy here who I think he wants to play or love or something here. So thanks everyone. That's the Heart and Home story. It's been a true it has gotten me through a lot. It has, I can't imagine not doing it. I hope there's never a time where I don't have to do it. Or that, however, you know what I mean. Oh my goodness. So, yes. I guess that's about it. All right. Good night and thank you. And I will probably hopefully get the newsletter out tomorrow. If you aren't subscribed to it, just go to our website and you can sign up on the front page on the bottom, and there it is. And I promise not to share, and it's no more than a month or once a week. So thanks everyone. Bye.